A Premier League All-Star game? What would this mean? How would it look? And is it a good idea? Let's discuss. What's up everyone, my name is Brian McDonough and welcome back to another episode of State of Soccer. I'm really hoping this episode creates some sort of debate down below in the comments. All I ask is that you keep it respectful, and if you enjoy this discussion, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. With that, let's begin. Behind me is Todd Boehly. Boehly is an American businessman with a fortune said to be over $5 billion. He's also the owner of Chelsea Football Club, and on Tuesday, September 13th, Boehly was a guest speaker at the SALT Leadership and Networking Forum. It was here that Todd made his All-Star Game remarks. Let's listen in.
I mean, ultimately, I hope that the Premier League takes a little bit of a lesson from American sports and really starts to figure out, why wouldn't we do a tournament, with the bottom four teams? Why isn't there an all-star game? I mean, people are talking about more money for the pyramid. MLB did their all-star game in LA this year. We made $200 million from, a Monday and a Tuesday.
All right, let's stop it there. Now I'm going to play the immediate reaction to Todd Boehly's remarks from multiple notable Premier League pundits.
Lesson? A lesson?
Yes, a lesson.
What is that supposed to mean? What are you trying
An
to
example?
teach? Oh yeah, I prefer that word. An example, a lesson. Are you a teacher or something?
Well, I mean, there's a certain level of success within American sports with certain formats,
I get it,
right?
but the word lesson is a bit...
So, well, how do you feel about his ideas?
I don't like them.
Because?
Because this is Europe and it doesn't work like that.
I'll be honest with you. When I look at that statement, I think it's incredibly arrogant to speak about a league that you don't know. I'm not as strong as Thierry. I don't think we should ever discount ideas.
I'm sure he doesn't mean it in a bad way, but I think it worries fans when some of these American owners come over with these harebrained ideas because they just don't get it. They just don't get how it operates and how lack of an appetite amongst players and amongst fans.
To fire up the pundits even more, Todd said this.
I think you could do a North versus South, all-star game for Premier League and fund whatever the pyramid needed very easily.
Fans of the South don't care about, and fans of the North don't care. They only care about their teams.
This obviously mimics what American sports currently do in the NFL, MLB, NHL, and even to some extent, Major League Soccer. Whether geographically split or not, it's the league's best players squaring off against each other during a break in the season. Keeping that idea in mind, let's first controversially separate England into two geographical areas, North and South. Off the bat, pun intended for my fellow American baseball fans here listening in, this on its own would be tricky, considering Todd is already glossing over the Midlands with this statement. But with that being said, this is YouTube, and after consulting countless of articles online, here's the dividing line. If you don't like it, then tough luck. So now that we have the geographical divide, let's see what teams fall where. Keep in mind that All-Star games in the US are typically selected based off of form of current players in that season. But then again, there are certain players that you just can't leave off the roster. So let's run through State of Soccer selections. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here's the Premier League North All-Star team coached by Pep Guardiola in a 4-3-3 formation. Once again, let me know if you agree or completely disagree with these selections that were picked off of current form, as well as just kind of player profile. As you'll see, there's a lot of Liverpool players, Man City players. We have Pope in goal. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, moving over south of this imaginary border, we have the South All-Star team, coached by Mikel Arteta, and once again, also showing off a 4-3-3 formation, and my picks were based off of current form. We might be a little bit Arsenal heavy, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's move on. Now that we've successfully carved up England and picked our squads, is this whole Premier League All-Star game thing a good idea? Let's debate. Personally, I don't have any problems with the idea of a Premier League All-Star game. It's always great to bring fresh ideas in the mix, but given the current complexities of the Premier League schedule, I don't know where this game would even fit. A problem I do have is with how Todd Boehly went about pitching this idea. You'd think that a billionaire businessman like Todd Boehly would have the foresight to see that the suggestion would cause some backlash, especially in the manner that he casually mentioned it at the SALT conference. But all that being said, I really mean this. Do you think Todd Boehly cares what Thierry Henry or Jamie Carragher have to say? We're talking about an owner, a guy who believes that Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah were Chelsea Academy products. All joking aside, let's take a step back, because these commentators also don't deserve to get off without any criticism here. I honestly felt that the response to the suggestion in some respects was just as arrogant as Todd. Whereas other former players and now pundits like Rio Ferdinand seemed to be a little bit more understanding back in 2011, and now,
shared on Twitter in July 2011. Not many people were on Twitter in 2011 for a start.
I think like this from Ben Jacobs here, this tweet here, I think if you listen to it in its entirety, I think it's one of the real things that was kind of missed in the whole point of what he was saying was how to get money down the pyramid of football.
The common denominator from anyone associated with the Premier League is when. When could this match even be played? Is there enough time in the Premier League schedule? The answer is clear. There isn't. So personally, no, I don't think the Premier League needs an all-star game at this time. But what it really does need is a reality check. The problem isn't Todd Boehly making an out-of-pocket suggestion here, but more that former players and pundits missed a greater opportunity. Maybe instead of tearing down Todd Boehly and grouping all American owners in the same bracket, I'm looking at you, Gary. They could have leveraged the publicity surrounding these suggestions to make an entirely more important argument. The issues surrounding the Premier League schedule. Even if everyone agreed that this was the greatest idea since the origination of the offside rule, isn't it kind of sad that this could not be implemented? Isn't it an issue that the schedule allows for zero flexibility? Isn't it a problem when those players, pundits, and coaches who are clamoring for a more open schedule decide to tear down Todd Boehly rather than petition for change? This isn't even about the Premier League All-Star Game. This entire suggestion, in my opinion, should be about the Premier League giving itself more flexibility to grow and the opportunity to implement new ideas. I hope you enjoyed this episode of State of Soccer. Make sure to subscribe if you got any value out of this episode. And until next time, take care, guys.